Greetings everyone and welcome to another Murders at Karlov Manor draft, which featuring again this cryptic code. I think I have had this in multiple drafts. Lucky me, it's one of the absolute strongest cards in the set. I'm taking it, of course. Other things that are good in this pack are definitely the Galvanize, and the Exit Specialist is quite good. Some minor form of evasion, but also can be used to bounce something via the disguise, or you can just play it as a 2-drop. And then Magmore is not the greatest, but a 5 mana 4/4 is okay. And then this does, turn all your extra mana and extra creatures and other non-light permanents into, burn to the face. So if opponent can't really go to too low life total when this is on the board, it's a decent card. But of course, nothing is as good as the cryptic code here. So let's take it. Okay, what? Well, it's this. It's this multiple rares per pack. Change. Packs can have up to 4 rares. And this is the pack 1 pick 2. So someone took a card that is better than the Scholar and better than the Axebane Ferox. I mean, there could have been a third rare that is better than these. No uncommon or common will be better than these. And I will take the Scholar. It's a really nice, efficient card. Sometimes you get an extra card when you only have to discard one, and even the selection is nice. If you will discard like 2 excess lands or some nonsense, it's nice always. And then of course it's a 3 mana 2/2 Flying Vigilance. That's gonna be my pick because my first pick was a blue. I think the Ferox, I like it a little bit more, maybe, but now that I can just follow up with the same color as my first pick, Palm Rare, I should definitely do that. Assemble the players, so still an option for a rare. I think this changes at least the rare drafters paradise now. The change into packs that can often have more than one rare. This is, I think, a card that you can play in a deck that already, if you have already picked a bunch of low power creatures, this can be a playable one. But remember, almost half your top cards will be lands anyway, 40% or 42.5% if you play 17 lands. But you won't always get the free spells, but I guess once you have gotten 2 free spells out of this, it's good. I'm not taking it here though. I think I could try blue-black with the murder here. I think it's a decent one to pick here. Yeah. And okay, another murder. There's also Crawl Whipcracker, which is a really nice 2-drop, but of course I'm not having green cards. I also passed the green rare, the hasty 4/4. I'm taking another murder, of course, given that I already took one, so why not keep doing that? Alright, let's move on. And then there's an Ally Assailant. Eliminate the Impossible is not bad. I would be picking the Escape Tunnel. This land is, I guess, okay, but it does require something else to produce colored mana. Should I take this? I like the tunnel, but I'm not having splashes yet. I have 2 double casters though, which makes these tunnels more valuable, that you can kind of easier get the double castings thing. But the -2, -0 always investigate. You can get some good trades with this thing. I'm taking it, and here I have still a bunch of decent options. You could take this, but it's kind of redundant at this point when I have already 2 murders. This is like a murder at a sorcerer's piece. Sometimes you of course can do the suspected thing, but anyway, I'll take the Sprite here over the 2-drop. This agent is good for sure, but I think the Sprite is now my pick. And I guess I'll take the Assailant. This is a little bit too much. I mean, losing a 2 life after already paying 5 mana for this effect, which is, kind of worth 3 usually. Not a great card. So I'll take the creature here, but I have of course a bunch of 3 mana things. I need earlier drops, but not much options in this pack for me. Alright, Undercity Sewers. Oh man, I really like the Sewers here. But there's an Extract a Confession also, which is, I think I quite like this Edict variant, where you can do the good thing with the evidence collection. But I'm with double murder, and this is just even better than the escape tunnel. This always taps for both colors. You get the surveil. I'm taking this now. It's valuable, and I do hope to get some 2-mana action at some point. And now I'm just gonna take something. I do think the sudden setback is good, but I don't need any more interaction. I need board presence, and this is, it is board presence, even though it's not that great. And I don't think I care about another 3-drop. I prefer my things to cost either 2 or 4 or 5, most likely 2. But I'm taking the slice from the shadows. And then I'm very happy to get the agent here. That's fantastic. And now I can take a 5-drop or the confiscation as like a sideboard option. I think I'm just not caring about that. I will also put this to the sideboard. I don't usually main deck that thing, and rarely I will sideboard it in. Okay, this pack has me pick another murder because this is yeah, this is not good in limited. There's a sprite too, but let's just take all the murders. This could be a real nice, kind of a similar kind of deck that as my previous one. Was my previous one the black-red removal heavy deck? I think it had like 3 galvanizes. This could be something similar, but with the blue as the secondary color. Yeah, but it still kills anything. Yeah, I mean the other option is the sprite. If there was a high quality 2-drop, and this is fine, but like a very high quality 2-drop, I think I would take it over the murder here, but now I'll just keep picking these murders. And I guess, okay, a lot of galvanizes and murderers going around. This is another 3-mana thing, I'm not taking that. There is the agency outfitter, and I think with the amount of murders I have in this deck, and also the other removal here, this could play this kind of a 6-drop, and I could find, of course, the French for it, magnifying glass and the thinking cap. But here, I'll take the agent. Another assemble the players is here. Okay. Oh man, I seem to just be getting these 3-drops. I mean, 3-mana, 3-mana, 3-mana card. Ooh. Curious Inquiry, definitely not for this deck. Yeah, I mean, I'll just take the murder. And we have here, okay. Well, there are 2-drops. And there's the extract a confession, but I don't think at this point I'm taking any more removal unless it's really the best option. I mean, like the only option in the pack. I can take the Bubble Smuggler, which is 2-drop slash 3-drop that, at 6 mana can also become a 6/5/10. Also, it's very nice to flip with the cloak with the coat here, because you can actually then use the mana cost to turn it face up. You can do it with 2 mana instead of 6 if this has been cloaked via the cloak ability. Alright, this is a fine pack. I'm taking the exit specialist, but I wouldn't mind having the reasonable doubt either as a 2-drop. But yeah, let's take the creatures. How many creatures that is? That is still 9. A decent amount. Okay. Not going to need an out cold. This might actually be the kind of deck that plays a card like a deduce. The more removal you have, the more time you have for all kind of card drawing. I think the extract the confession is a little unnecessary. I'm taking the deduce. And then I have here, wow, all these. I could also take a thinking cap if the 6-drop comes back to me, but I guess the curious cadaver, I can take it just to have a 3-power flyer, and I have a few ways to get the clue. So I might, get this ability to work too, but I even don't have any 4-drops, so let's take it. It's good for my mana curve. Fair Flight, 2-drop. Huh. I do like this thing, but it might not be that necessary right now. I'll just take the offender here. Yeah. And another Crime Stopper sprite. You could play this, but you don't require red mana to reveal it. This is still unnecessary. Well, let's take the sprite, why not? And here I can take 20 gems. I can take this, but it's not likely to be played. I don't need another Assailant, I have 2 of them already, so I'm gonna go for the 20 gems. This is actually playable in this deck, but it's a 3-drop, I don't need more 3s. Alright, ill-timed explosion. I have so much spot removal that I don't actually need this mass removal effect. The options for me is they are not that great though. I'm not splashing anything, so I don't think I'm taking the Strider. Am I just taking all the repeat offenders? I'm not a fan of having like so many of them, but this pack really doesn't have much for me. I'm taking the offender. Lost in the Maze. It doesn't add up. The Stalker is okay. Yet another 3 mana thing though. Should I try this thing? I don't know if that's very good though. I am not the tempo deck, and yes, you can use this to save your own things, but that's like a expensive counter spell. Very, not very mana efficient. Well, I guess this is also just a 6-drop. I'm taking the flyer. And here we have a Burden of Proof, Long Goodbye. Alright, I like the Long Goodbye. It's a 2-drop that can also get rid of, disguise creatures for 2 mana. It's nice to be on the draw. Your opponent plays a disguise creature on turn 3, which is commonly a common thing, and then you can just at the end of their turn use this for 2 mana, and you get a nice amount of tempo. Alright, I'll take this. And Gamble. It is actually one of those, special slots cards that are very rare because the mythic versions of these are not very common. They don't appear commonly, so I'm actually taking this just to complete, kind of go for 100 completion on the entire client, which I've been doing. So I'm gonna pick this. This will save me a mythic rare wild card. The Go Hound could be okay, but I don't think this pack even is so important for my deck. Case of the Gorgon's Case. Now this is very hard to make work. You have to be able to solve this to make it good. 3 or more creature cards going to graveyard. Not really. I don't expect that to happen. I could take another Stalker, but maybe I'll take one of these Macabre Reconstructions. Mostly because it is a form of card advantage. What is this pack? Pick 6 and there's still the Onlooker and the Case of the Stashed Skeleton. Both are fantastic 2-drops. This is the better one, of course, the rare. You just get a free demonic tutor out of this. After you have a 2 mana, 2/1 menace, that can't be blocked though. Can't block though. Okay, yeah, that was just a crazy good pack. A Silent. I have enough playables. Am I going to play some of these things? Don't think this 5-drop is particularly interesting, so I'm taking just 20 gems here. I don't care about any of this stuff. And Deadly Complication, which I don't have to be splashing. I have enough murders here already. But since... Okay, I do have 8 detectives, but I'm not sure if I really need a thinking cap here, but I'll still take it. Maybe there's a matchup that makes me actually want to sideboard it in. Okay, I have enough action at 2 mana. I don't need to pick this Strider, so I will take another Crime Stopper sprite here then. It doesn't add up. Okay, I'll take that. But well, I won't be playing that. Now, with the amount of removal I have here, I actually could consider bringing this in some matchups. But it's not gonna be in the main deck. Alright, I have one of these. Okay, I'll take the Go Hound. Maybe I will play it, maybe not. I'm actually thinking about maybe playing this just for a kind of a mana curve reasons. I could also play the Savior. Let's put it to the deck now. But I won't be main decking the orb here or the other stuff in here, including this. Now I have a bunch of flyers though, so maybe this actually could be played, but I do still prefer the option that I will sideboard this in against opponents who, well, first don't have that much removal, and more importantly, don't have that many ways to block a flyer, because this is quite quite bad if you don't get to connect. You usually want to play this on a turn when you can almost kind of guarantee one hit to get one clue, but it's not worth the risk. You really want to have the option, the rather high likelihood to be able to connect multiple times with your creatures to get multiple clues. So I will use it most likely as a sideboard option. And now this is 18 creatures, 11 non-creatures. And I need to start making some kind of cuts in here. I think the first cut is the Go Hound. I'm just not really benefiting too much out of the 1/1 menace part. It's an aggressive deck card. The surveils are nice, and most of my things will surveil, but with this trigger. But it's also the 1/1 menace part is what I don't need here, so I'm not doing that. It's the first cut. I like the eliminate the impossible, but given the number of removal spells I have in here, yeah, I might just not even get that great use out of this. So even though this does create me a clue, I like that part a lot. It seems it's not so necessary with the amount of removal I have access to. Okay, I will cut that, and maybe some of the 3-drops I definitely don't need all of them. So is the Savior going to be a thing that I will be cutting as the first one? I also have 3 Crime Stopper sprites. Yeah, I think the Savior is like the least needed out of those. That is still 26 cards. I have enough creatures to play the reconstruction. I like actually this just to have a a body. I usually won't be disguising this because I have so many other 3 mana options, but the turning face up cost is the same as the mana cost, so you don't really win anything by disguising it. Well, with the exception that you can make surprise attack or a surprise block. Opponent doesn't know which one this is, and you can get a card that way when you turn it face up mid combat. But once you have access to 5 mana, the opponent knows that you can get big creatures by paying 5 for the face up turning, so they won't be making stupid blocks. But yeah, I like this as a 5 mana 4/5 here. I can take a little bit of a bigger creature here. It's clumsy, it's expensive, but like I said, with the amount of removal I have, I can actually afford it. The Macabre Reconstruction is the card I am really thinking if I should be playing that. I think I will cut one Ally Assailant at least, and then I will be cutting, maybe, is there a 2-drop I should be cutting? That's like, let's see the creature curve. It is, yeah, I have a lot of 2s. You can play the Exit Specialist on turn 2. One of the repeat offenders can go away. This is now enough 2s. And that is 24 cards. I would play 16 lands and this. Well, actually most of the cards in here are castable at 2. I mean at 3 or less. Even these things have the disguise option. This can be cheaper. You usually want to kind of time this so that you get to cast this for 2. This is the only card that absolutely always requires more than 3 mana. And I have so much removal that I can also buy time that way to get to more lands. So I will play just 16 in this deck. Lands, I mean. And with the murders and in general I have more black than blue, I will have to actually make a decision about whether I play this configuration or I want to have one more black mana. I kind of like 10 black with the quadruple murder. You really need to have with this deck access to double black in every game, at least on turn 5 or so latest, because I can have like 2 of these murders in my hand early in the game. When you have 4 of those in deck, that's a thing. So with 7 blue mana, I don't have blue mana double blue requirements other than the kind of optimal case with the cryptic code. You at 5 mana you want to have the option to bounce and recast this cryptic code, and that of course does require double blue, but it's only at 5. So this will be fine with these 7 sources. I might maybe sometimes miss my turn 2 blue spell, but it's more important to guarantee the black mana happening. So this is the actual main deck. Okay, not a great hand. Despite how I put only 6 basic islands in the deck, this is still the hand I'm getting. I have only this going on, and I have one of the double blacks without any black, so this cannot be a kept hand. This is better. And so what card to cut? I think it will be the reconstruction. There's no guarantee at which point I will have 2 creatures. The opponent also mulligans in the graveyard, so I'd rather have these things that I can just cast sooner in the game. They did mulligan to 6. Let's see if they keep that or go to 5. I think I'll pause the recording in the meanwhile. No, I don't have to. They kept 6. Alright. Is there a land drop? Do they have to think what land to play? Okay, they went to a timer there and they have a scapegoat. Fair enough. I'm gonna make them exile a card now. They had a forest there. Okay. A red herring. Alright, so are they gonna... I'm sure that... Actually, this is... Well, I can trade with the scapegoat now. That's great. And then I will just get rid of that thing. Well, I mean, I can take one more attack, I suppose. Well, I think I can do that. They might even want to draw a card for some reason. So I would be getting some tempo there, but I think now that this has no menace, they will be actually keeping the attacks. This also has menace. Well, I have now a couple of uncounterable spells. I'm not going to let them untap. This will eventually kill bigger things than this, but for this turn, this is more mana efficient. I think the long goodbye can always be used for the red herring, so let's just do this before I'm letting them untap. This can't be countered, so I can actually do this with 3 mana. What was it? Vengeful Creeper, okay. I'm happy to not have this around. It actually could have killed the case before I get to use the demonic tutor here. It's also, of course possible the opponent will never block this, but at least I'm clocking them for 2 per turn. And now I can just play the Assailant here. They didn't play anything yet on this turn cycle. Okay, so now I have they have a damage, they have dealt more damage, but now I have the better board. And of course I do have the long goodbye okay, with the Gazi Inspector, which they can now of course use for this purpose. It being a 2/4 means that they can block the Assailant, but maybe they want to use the red herring as a faster clock. Nope. Only 2 damage, so I can just well, if I do use the murder, then I will have collect evidence 6 in my graveyard for this ability, so let us do this. I'm dealing 5 per turn, they are dealing with 2 per turn, but they are red-green, there can be surprise damage. And I'm just waiting for them to tap out so that I can long goodbye this guy away, because of course I don't want them to respond to my removal spell with by drawing a card. Okay, well, I'm going to kill this one instead. They are not, I mean, unless they are like blocking here. Let's first do this, but I will of course use my long goodbye before they untap. But they exiled because they have only 2 cards in their hand anymore. So it's important. They have a suspicious detonation. So this kind of clumsy, expensive removal spell. Okay, let's get rid of this. I really like the long goodbye in dealing with these water creatures. I'm gonna go to 7, but I'm also dealing quite a bit. And I can use the Crime Stopper sprite on the next turn on the red herring to prevent 1 attack. Assuming, you know, they don't play another creature here. And I can block this thing with two creatures, of course. Okay, the Mask Maker, not a very impressive card actually. So now I should just make sure. I think they might be jump blocking the Assailant there. I'm still not attacking with the Agent. This thing into the 1-2, you know, I don't need to deal 5 to them. Because, you know, if I attack with everything, they might block the Agent, and in that case I would trade this for a bunch of damage. But I will leave it as a blocker against random hasters. Now they are thinking about something. I don't think there's anything to think about there really in my pre-combat. There's no tapping effects from these colors. This of course is an evasive thing too. So whether they're gonna block with this thing or not, I'm gonna you know, lock down the herring. Lock down the herring now. Collect evidence 6 and murder and slice and the long goodbye. So this will be stunned for a turn. They might actually draw a card from it now, which is still fine. I have a lot of damage. You know, this is like 4 power of evasive creatures and just 4 power other creatures. Yeah, they drew the card because it wouldn't have untapped anyway. Alright, this can't be blocked by face down creatures. Bubble Smuggler, no real reason to do anything else than attack. I'm winning this race even if they trade with the Assailant. Now, I could actually now attack with the 1-1-2, 1-1 also, because they are forced to trade with the Assailant. But that's only 1 extra damage. I think I will still play around some random, you know, hasty effect, despite me having the Bubble Smuggler here, but I don't think the 1 damage is going to matter. They're gonna go to 2 anyway, and now if it so happens that and they actually had a way to save it, so I'm happier to have this blocker, because I cannot actually block this guy with the Smuggler if I disguise it. Now I have the option to play it face up, and then I have 2 blockers on this thing, but they are top decking here. It's incredibly unlikely that they can with 1 top deck get. This doesn't have a trample naturally. They could be... No, there's no mass removal effect, I don't think. I'm gonna play this still face up, just to be sure. I mean, both the Flyer and the Menace guy are lethal. I don't need a 6-5. I don't even have the mana for the, you know, turning it face up. So this has a hexproof on their turn, but doesn't have trample. They would need to give it a lot of... Yeah, another +3/+3 and trample is not enough. That's the important thing there. So, this Savior would be nice in a race situation such as in the previous game, but this is really good blocker on any of my... I actually never checked that they had the Offender at large as one of the creatures I killed. This is good at blocking flyers, but also my deck has ton of removal. That is what, 4, 5, is that 6 removal spells, yeah. The Curious Inquiry might even be good, but I will be on the draw. I think I should focus on not dying. Eliminate the impossible. It's not the worst when they have pump spells. I think I could play it, but what would be my cut in that case? Yeah, that's the... I think I like the 3-3. Maybe even more than the sprite. Should I put one of these in? How good is the cadaver? I think it's good. The reconstruction. Okay, I'm gonna cut, now that I'm on the draw, I'm gonna cut the reconstruction. I will play the eliminate and the impossible. And that's, I think, the only change I'm gonna make. Okay, this is a good hand. They mulligan again. Now I don't have to. I don't have any of my 2s, but I can cast every card here. Okay, they start with the scapegoat again. More 3-drops. Well, these are only 1-power creatures. I'm not that concerned about them. And I will just play one of the sprites to be able to block one of these. Of course, this has menace for now. But they might have a face down card, and they might make this have menace. Okay. So this thing enters. Oh, this would be nice. This would have been really good on the previous turn. But because now I kind of have to choose between playing the agent and doing something that actually affects the board. I do like to have the 3-3 down. But I guess I get to this is gonna allow me to be able to block now both of these, because this no longer has menace. Let's try to tap this thing. It won't work. It doesn't matter because there was no stun counter to be distributed. I do want to play the agent before they play their final card from their hand. So maybe I have to do it now on this turn. Okay, that I cannot block. Well, that's a safe attack, so I should also always block here. And even if they have the trick there, I would use up their trick that way. Reckless Detective, okay, and well, they I guess I don't have to play the agent now. I'm happy they played this low impact card though, and I can kill this once they turn it face up, or if I draw my 5th land, then I can even murder it with the ward. Right, let's see what I'm gonna get here. I'm getting a land which I want to draw, and then of course I will be... this enters tapped, which is relevant now. They can go for a kind of an all-in attack, but then again this 3-3 will be a good blocker on the detective. That said, on the next turn I might just go for the lumbering laundry. So let's make it so that I will have another immediate blocker here. Because I should be winning here with the extra cards I have compared to them. If I get to actually play. These cards. Alright, so I have the option to... Let's see if they want to discard it. If it's just a useless card, they don't want to. They have to... Okay, they can sacrifice an artifact too. Yeah, actually, that's a good point. They can sack this to draw a card, and now there's this thing happening. So, at 4 mana, this cannot be anything too dangerous. But they might have +3/+3 and trample, of course. And that's what I have to pay attention to. So I can double block either of these things. Do I want them to use the trample trick? Now the thing is that if they have the +3/+3 and trample, or the +3/+0 and first strike and investigate, if they have that in hand and I take now 4 additional damage, I'm gonna be dying to that trick regardless. So I do have to make the double block now. I'm gonna make it. And I'm gonna make it on here. Because it has menace. This doesn't have menace. So we'll see. Okay, they just traded, which is fantastic outcome for me. It was a Quenchable Creeper, and now they have 2 cards in hand. They might not be able to cast them both. And I can now make them... Oh, this is just a... This is too fantastic, isn't it? Look at this. So, first of all, I'm gonna make them exile the card from their hand. Then I can still have another play available. And it was the 5 power offender at large. They chose not to. They chose to play the Gadabout instead of that, which is. I mean, they could have played this face down, but yeah. Anyway, I will have a murder up. I could murder this, but I don't need to because this can block it. And the Assailant can block if I play it face down, and then there's the drain 3 option, of course. This can even block this thing. I will take damage from the detective, but if they choose to discard the card they draw. I can also just leave the murder up, but I can't kill this on their turn, it will have hexproof. I can also play this just, you know, so that it enters tapped, but I might be interested in the 6 mana option, but when I have the mana for it, that is a... I don't necessarily have the mana for that, like ever. I don't want to play this disguised. I'm actually gonna do this. It might seem a little weird, but I have these murders and I don't want them to have the selection. If they like draw a land, I would very much them not be able to actually discard a land to draw a better card, potentially. And I don't... And I wanted to use the murderer before they attack, so it's like very... I guess I could have waited until their... No, beginning of combat or something, but oh well. So the red herring was one of the better draws they could have made there, because that allows them to do this attack. If they attacked with everything, I would have actually blocked the Mask Maker and the Scapegoat, but now I can just do this. And I will have a blocker now for the herring here. They can exile something from my graveyard, that doesn't matter too much. And now I'll just play the Lumbering Laundry, and I will have time now to get the drain 3. They're actually now forced to draw a card from this because I can block with the 4/5. I guess if they did draw the +3/+3 and trample, I should double block. Because I don't mind trading the herring and the agent. Yeah, I should do the double block. I guess if it's... yeah, it doesn't matter. Oh, now they're gonna... Well, scratch that. Does that actually mean they have the +3/+3? They might have it. I'm actually gonna do it like this. Because they can just draw a card from that regardless. I'd rather prevent 2 this way. Can they deal 4 to this thing? Okay, that is now fine. So the Repeat Offender and the Assailant, I will be playing this face down because I actually want to gain the 3 life. It will not be that mana efficient, but I think I will have the time for it. And of course this Laundry will be remaining doing blocking duty. They did not actually draw a card with the herring. So if it is +3/+3 and trample, I should double block. I don't mind trading the Repeat Offender with it. So now I will be going to... Unless they kill the face down card right now, I will go to 11 life and I can start the attacks. Alright, so this can actually, of course, be used to see what that is. But I might actually just kill it instead. Well, Killing it costs 5 mana. That doesn't leave me anything else. So, you know, if I want to kill it, I might as well turn this thing. Look what it is. But then again, I have like fewer options to kind of represent some specific kind of a thing. But first what I'm doing, I'm going to attack with everything and I let them trade with the offender. That wouldn't be... I wouldn't, you know, care about that at all. And now the safe thing to do here is just to kill it. I won't be, you know, first seeing because I'm committed to this regardless. So... And it was a... well, I think that definitely needs to be killed. Now if they play a face down card, I can just use the Lumbering Laundry and immediately see what it is. That's also one of the reasons I played my final card, the land. I wanted to have this 2 mana option up here, and now I get to see... what is this? Concealed weapon. Okay, that was that. I didn't need the code, I didn't even draw the card yet. On the play, this is a fine hand. I get the Surveil into a land most likely. I'm very unlikely to... I mean, if it's a cryptic code, I will keep it on top, but most non-lands will be going to the bin. Okay, they are thinking about the mulligan decision, okay. And they kept 7 cards. Like I said, if it's a cryptic code, I will keep it on top. Other than that, it would be binned. Well, there's the code. And I will not have time to, you know, do the disguise thing with this. I will have this. This can't be blocked by creatures with power 3 or greater, so not a very not a very strong evasive ability. Alright, so let's hope they will just trade here, because I actually want to... This is fantastic, because I can now use the long goodbye on maybe a 2-2 they play. Oh, they play a Case of the Pilfer Proof. I don't like that, but because it's a really good card. But you know what's also a really good card? This, and now that I drew the land, I should be in a very good shape. So all the detectives will be bigger. And the 2-2 will be a detective. Okay, I can play my cadaver now. They got 4 power with 3 mana, that is great, but I have a bunch of, you know, interaction here to, you know, stem the bleeding, and I'm having 6 power of... Wow, double of this guy. And this... Wow, this deck seems to be pretty awesome, and it's possible I just win with my great rare, but this deck they have, that is fantastic. So they did not attack with this guy, because they want to... I mean, they wanna solve these cases, of course. Well, I'm not blocking a 1-1 here. Well, I'm gonna prevent the... I think I'll just kill their stuff with the murder and a long goodbye. But I could also... They are gonna maybe use this on my thing. But I will do it regardless. Do I want to let them... When this enters, you may... And whenever you solve a case, well, cases will be solved, but I'm killing this boat before they deal damage to me. So, you know what? I'll just do that. The Cryptic Code is a great mana sink, but this also allows me to use the Crime Stopper sprite here at collect Evidence 6. They deduce, and then they need creatures. They are not quitting with the 1-1. They should maybe accuse... Okay, they don't do anything with the cadaver right now. Okay. Out cold. Nothing I can do about that. I didn't even check what this thing is, by the way. Of course I can turn it face up. Anyway, that happens. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the unfair thing with the cryptic code. Oh, I can now make this, you know, I can turn this face up at 3 mana, get the 3 life drain that way. Now they have such a nice thing going on, but my cryptic code is just ridiculous card. I will not turn this face up ever. And I can use the sprite here, and I can use the murder. I wonder, well, first of all, let's do this no matter what. And I will use this option here. It will deal more damage, get the drain going on. They take 4 in there. So yeah, let's do the sprite here. And I'm now winning on multiple fronts with these interactive spells still in my hand. And yeah, cryptic code. Alright, double case. And they have the case file auditor. This is a really sweet deck. I'm almost sad that I won because of this. I mean, I guess I was able to win that game even if my 3-drop wasn't this cryptic code. But this definitely made it easier, unsurprisingly. So, what do I want to have here against the stuff I saw? Is there something that's particularly bad? The macabre reconstruction might be a little slow here. I might want to have just more things. How about the savior? Getting some life seems to be quite useful. It is very expensive though. 3+2 to do its thing. I could use the eliminate the impossible in here as well. I could do that. Okay, I'm gonna try that again. They go first. Yeah, this is a fine hand. Okay, long goodbye is my good turn 3 play. The analyst. Well, it can't attack without special things happening. So I won't be using the long goodbye this turn. I will be just playing this, and they did have an extra land to exile. There's the source, and now I have the sprite in here. I will try the thing with the eliminate the impossible on the next turn. I think I'm gonna long goodbye that. That's a good one too. I'm gonna long goodbye this right away. Decline the ward cost payment. It was a covered falcon. Well, I don't have to worry about that now. So I have a decent options. I can get value from the eliminate the impossible, or if there's some reason don't attack, or make this into a 4/2 first. I could have still used the deduce. Let's go with this and this. Now I will have some clues to combine with the cadaver. That is nice. Oh, also this one is good. Huh. It's time to play the cadaver though. I will of course block this thing. And I can start attacking myself a little bit. Phantom. Okay, well they have their cheap things. But I have good things as well. I will be leaving this 3-1 to block, of course, because I can keep recasting it. And I will play the Repeat Offender and this case here. Okay, so let's offer some trades. They might have their own Eliminate Impossible, or they might have +3, +2, +1 on everything. Doesn't matter really. I'm going to block here, and I'm going to block here and see what happens. This can't of course block because it is suspected. Okay, they will get another clue here. That's fine, because that was just a 1-1, but that's fine. Okay, one of my murders. They haven't actually been able to do anything with this analyst. Here I will be of course drawing a card. If I get a land, I can recast my thing. If I don't get a land, then of course I still have a place to make here. So if I get a land with this deduce, but I kind of don't want them to know that I have another clue coming up. I will play the agent here before I show how I'm gonna attack here, although it seems pretty trivial how I'm gonna attack. Criminologist, okay, they don't have access to the 5 mana. I will happily trade with the source, of course, then I will have my demonic tutor up. This can find an enchantment from the top 6 cards. They have that thing there. They can't attack with this yet, and therefore they can't also make this thing do any good work. Alright, I'm fantastic. I'm very happy about this trade here. So there's a Stalker now. Well, I still have a good attack here. Now this should be... I have this in a pretty good spot now, this entire game now. Alright, I'm gonna have to do this now, just in case I draw a land, because that will give me this option. And now I can play this as a 6-drop on the next turn. Okay, that will be dealt with, but they don't have the board presence and still this cannot attack. So much wasted damage. If this was like something else, it would have been so much better. They do get to solve that thing, but they just get extra clues. Even if I lock this thing down, it's not going to... I'm not gonna have a lethal attack, so let's do this. And of course I will be... the safest way... Now I can actually consider things like playing around mass removal. Yes, I can. At least this becomes online in that case. I'm thinking about playing this as a... Okay, I'm actually choosing to do it like this now. This leaves me... Okay, what is... Please don't tap the mana so weirdly. This leaves me murder up. None of these are particularly important. I will lock down. This can become a 3-3. Unlikely though. Wait a minute, why do they have a priority here? Are they playing with full control or did this game somehow bug? They don't have any action. Is this, am I supposed to have priority now? Is this arena bugging? Do I have to reconnect? I mean, they must have full control up or there's something bugging. It seems like it's there. Is it bugging for them? I mean, this timer should be on my side if I don't know what's up. Did something weird happen in the game now? They are waiting until I mean, okay, now that happened, right? Let's just doesn't really matter. Let's just do this. And just in case they might have the white rat effect, I will just leave mana up for the murder rather than play this as a face down creature. But yeah, a rat wouldn't really help them. I would actually get an extra clue from that rat because it gives a clue to the player with most creatures. And I will have this online. If they have a rat, I will get the demonic tutor, and of course I still have this stuff in my hand. I think I should be winning this almost 100%, even if there's like a crazy bum rare that they can have. I'm really gonna be able to deal with everything here. I don't know why they are taking so much time here, but they are playing full control now. They're at their own upkeep. I just have a lethal attack in the air. If they have a flying blocker, that doesn't help because I can murder it. They need the actual removal, and they also will have to now double block this guy because that's another 2 damage I can be dealing. Am I supposed to pause the recording because they are not playing very fast right now? I'll pause the recording until something happens. Okay, they play a dead use. That is allows this thing to attack for the first time, and they get actually double clues because of this solved case. Not that it's gonna matter. They can attack. I'm not blocking. I can take 3. It has vigilance, by the way. So, regardless, no reason to do anything like that. I mean, anything like murdering this guy. I can take the 3 here. And, what to do at the end of the turn? Using up a murder like this seems like a little bit of a waste, but if I would use a murder, and if they don't play another creature, that is. If they tap out, of course, I'll just win. Because they already have to deal with the flyers here. But, I mean, if I kill one of these untapped creatures, this will become unblockable too. Of course, I can do it on my turn, but then I wouldn't be able to... I guess I would still be able to disguise the Basilica Stalker. Okay, there's a very good card, but they will be losing that thing and it will be a victory. Victory for me right now. There's some major lag in here, or they are just using full control just for fun or something. I don't know what's the point with this. Alright, so the match is basically over now, because I have a guaranteed lethal on the next turn. But maybe I will have to wait for those timeouts to go away. I will pause the recording. Okay, they let it resolve, and now I'm getting my turn, and apparently my opponent wants to spend as much time in this match as possible. It was a fun match for me. My deck really worked incredibly well. And despite them getting 2 of these cases online in game 1, it wasn't enough for them to win that game. Of course, I did have my cryptic code to help me a lot there. And now they're running out of their time, and I can just make the attacks here. Not giving them the opportunity to make any blocks. Alright. Again on the play, and oh, starting with the case here, that's nice. I have this castable. I guess this is castable if they have something with 1 toughness. I don't have any immediate 3 mana thing to do actually, which is pretty funny because my deck has so many of them, but with the long goodbye and the case here, I'm gonna be in a good shape. I'm very happy about the land, of course, because I do wanna play my cadaver as well. Bystander. Well, that is in fact a 1 toughness creature. They might have a pump spell on it, so I'm actually gonna be again playing it like very safe and kill this before they untap. I have a good, clock here with the 2 power menace guy. Oh, they have nothing. Because they eventually have to kill this, of course, and then I get my demonic tutor. Well, but this seems to be a non-game if they have no land drops. Okay, they got a land drop. Is that gonna be good enough? If it's just a disguised creature, it won't do much. I have a 5 damage per turn output here, and all this interaction here. Even if they kill this thing, I have the reconstruction here. Well, they can't block this thing. I wonder if I'm supposed to let them. I'm not gonna let them do any kind of a. Well, why did I pay for the ward cost? I'm such a fool. I just automatically, yeah, because if they, they could have actually been able to just make this happen now when they drew the planes, and that would have allowed them to, of course, get the 2/2 trigger. Okay, well, I wasn't gonna murder this, so the fact I paid for the ward without the reason didn't end up mattering. And now, of course, I can just surveil any lands away. Lumbering Laundry, why not? Why not a 4/5? Oh, they have actually. They had only mountains first, and then they just happened to draw the basic plains and the basic forest here. Well, that's good for them, but my situation is, of course, much better than theirs. And I don't know what it would be the best thing for me to actually to get even with this, but of course I will decide when it's time to make that decision. So I can't murder the 4/2, it has hexproof. I won't be murdering the 3/2 because it will produce a 2/2 guy, but I am going to play the laundry on the next turn, which means that either I use this murder right now, or I wait with it. I think I'm gonna use it right now. This way I can, if they wanna double block this, they have to lose the gadabout. That's something they really wouldn't want to do. But can they really go to 1 here? I can actually get the. I mean, I can get the thing that drains them for 3, but it might. I mean, they might still kill it though. I'm actually waiting with that now. I will just play this guy. Although they have to deal with this thing too. Maybe the worst thing is if they have some kind of life gain effect. But I can get now Oh, sorry, I was wrong. This only gets solved now, and the activation is sorcery speed. So there was no opportunity to use this right now, but on the next turn I can do it. Okay, that's gonna be a 5/5, but I mean that's a lethal attack in the air. I don't have to do anything else. So that's that. Yeah, you have to wait for this thing to solve at your end step, and the activation has to wait for the next turn. Alright, so Naya colors, but I would... No, I don't assume anything about the main colors, because I saw 2 drops from white and red, and a 3 drop from green. Well, not much information yet. I'm again thinking about the eliminate the impossible, and on the draw not having the macabre reconstruction up. It is a sweet 2-for-1 effect, but maybe I'll do this again. I think the curious injury might be working too, but no, I will use this uncommon here. This is fine. Well, I can cast 4 of these 5 spells, so let's keep this, and any land allows me to cast Murder as well. And there's the island, just in case I draw something blue here. Am I gonna wait with the agents first? Well, no longer. I have a perfect blocker on the bystander. With the other agent I maybe will wait until they have fewer cards. Less opportunities to ditch something useless. So next turn, well, I could use a murder, but I think it's, unless I draw something that costs 3, I can relive the past. That is a very expensive card and not so easy to actually make work. You want to have at least what artifact, land, and I think you want to have 3 5/5s. Just having 2 5/5s with this is not even that strong. Anyway, alright, I'm happy to make this block here, or whatever. They have to use some kind of card here. That's fine. They basically made a 2/2 with 1 mana. Alright, so they have only 3 cards left, but I'm gonna wait with this Unscrupulous Agent a little bit more. Just playing the Offender now. And I won't be blocking this thing, because I have the possibility to use the Eliminate the Impossible to good effect. And this is actually my only creature, not counting the 1/1, which is of course rather insignificant. So that's gonna be eating a long goodbye. I think I might not play the agent yet. I will try to do the thing with the Eliminate the Impossible, but I'm not gonna let them untap with this. So and now let's not pay. Resolve the ability, but decline the payment. Now, what was it? Museum Nightwatch. I'm happy to get rid of that. So now I'm going to block here and try to get value from the trick here. Okay, no removal from there. That's great. And they attack, that's great as well. And I can just block the gadabout. 2 cards left. I am going to start by doing this, and I think the agent should do its thing right now. Well, maybe not, because I can play the Assailant, so they were gonna draw a card. I guess if they draw a card, play a land and 2 spells, then it's a little bit awkward. But then I at least have full information, 2 murders in my hand. The actual question is, do I want to make this... I'm gonna just make a 3/3, actually. Because I have these spells in my hand, I might maybe not have time to do the 6 mana thing, and the drain isn't gonna be that relevant right now. Okay, they have 1 card in their hand. So if it's not an instant, oh, what a draw. If it's not an instant, this will be great value for me. I have to get rid of the final card, what's in their hand. And it was a good one, but okay. They are playing a triple green card in a deck that plays like even colors from 3 different options. That is usually not very good. I'm going to now use the murder on this thing to start the beats in here. And I don't care if they block the repeat offender. I know I can make it suspected, but this trade is fine. Given what I have here is, and they are top decking. I'm totally confident that I will have a good chance to win this game. Despite, this trade actually not being so good for me necessarily, but given that this will be better later in the game when you can start pumping this into a pretty big evasive creature. Alright, that's that. I think the deck was really sweet, and I in the end didn't even need the, I didn't draw the cloak much at all. Coat, so not cloak. It has the cloak ability, but the garment is a coat. So yes, I'm happy that this kind of black, this was mostly a black deck. 15 black cards can really work here, because I think the color black is in this format one of the colors that's, based on some 17 lands data, like the weakest color. But I'm happy if I get past 4 murders in it. Well, maybe not. Maybe I opened some of these, but regardless, if I'm getting late murders passed to me, I'm happy to play this kind of a deck always. Value deck. And I really like the Long Goodbye. I think this might be the only card, at least from commons and uncommons, that can destroy a face-down creature with mana advantage. The other options are Shock, that will cost 3 because you have to pay for the ward. This, you don't have to pay for the ward, but you have to put X equals 2 here. So there are ways to kill them with mana parity, but this is actually allowing you to use 2 mana and to get rid of the 3 mana thing. I really like this card a lot. But yeah, this deck was sweet and also fun to play. Oh, hey, I never drew this one. I forgot it's in the deck. It was my second pick in the draft, and I think I never drew this. Well, it doesn't matter. I won all the matches. That's that. Let's claim the prize here, and I will see you in the next video then. Thank you for watching, and bye-bye.